a great coup for Melbourne and for Crown. Fat Duck is relocating to Melbourne for 6 months, and we welcome to the studio Heston Blumenthal. Heston, good morning. Nice to see you again.
Good morning. Good to see you guys as well.
So it's an entire relocation.
Yes. Yeah. It's not a pop-up restaurant. It's not a chef going to cook for a week in somebody else's space or restaurant. We are picking up the duck, the whole team, and actually some bits of the building, and flying everything and everyone over here.
So how many people does that involve coming out from England?
It'll be about 60.
And who asked who for a dance?
What's that?
Did you approach Crown, or did Crown approach you?
I see. Sorry, I was thinking dancing. That wasn't on the agenda. We've been talking to Crown for a couple of years. First time I came over here was 2003 for Gourmet Traveller Awards, and I met John Alexander from Crown, and then with him I met Neil Perry, became very good friends with them, and then it was, I don't actually know, it wasn't kind of an official request or invitation from either side. It was just, we just started chatting. And I had been wanting to redo the kitchen at the Duck for the last probably 5 to 8 years. And the Fat Duck's very small, it's an old building. So we'd had planning permission for this new kitchen, bigger kitchen, but it was going to take 4 or 5 months. And I've got that many staff, you can't just lay the staff off for that long. So we had to find somewhere to relocate, and just everything turned out so fortuitous.
Why pick Melbourne? I mean, you've got all the cities in the world. You've got Tokyo, you've got
Sydney,
Paris, Sydney, New York.
Well,
why Melbourne?
Several reasons. One, I'm now probably 3 times a year at least I'm over here because of my relationship with Coles. We had the big launch in May. I've got a range of cooking, electrical equipment with Breville. The TV shows are doing well over here, and I've got lots of friends over here. So in addition to that, Australia, I've never seen such a food explosion in a country as in Australia.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Tokyo. I'd say that if you wanted 3 Michelin star French cooking, go to Paris. If you want kind of Zen-like purism in food, go to Tokyo or Kyoto. But if you're talking about diversity, excitement and energy in a city in terms of food, I'd say for me almost the top 4 would be London, New York, Melbourne and Sydney.
Looking at the menu, I've pulled the menu off the net. I don't know whether it's the current menu at the Fat Duck. It's got Sound of the Sea, for example.
Yeah.
Is that the one that comes with the iPod?
Yes, the iPod tucked into the seashell.
Right. And you listen to the sounds of the sea while you eat the dish?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So is that the current menu? Salmon poached in a licorice gel.
What's the, if you tell me what's the just below? There's a meat course. Is it pork, lamb, or duck?
Duck.
Yes, current.
Right, yeah. And is that that's the menu that will be coming here, or something entirely new?
Yes, no. It's really important for me that I bring the whole Fat Duck here, and that the food is exactly the same level of quality and consistency that we produce in the UK. The only differences will be where the slight variation on ingredients.
Right, I was going to ask, which duck is going to lay down its life? An English duck or a Victorian duck?
Absolutely. Other than some of the dry store ingredients, all of the fresh produce, I want to get from Australia. I mean, you guys have some of the best produce in the world.
Now, you've got here on this menu £195 a person. It's 14 courses, and it's got, please allow 3.5 hours for this menu, all of which makes me absolutely salivate. Are you going to be able, in Australia, given the cost of living here, to reproduce that menu for that sort of price?
It's a very good question. I think we want it to be around that price. There might be slight variation. Obviously, it was a little bit tricky to start fully researching the ingredients, because when I made the announcement day before yesterday, I woke up in the morning with my staff back at the Fat Duck in Brayley not knowing, other than about a handful of senior staff, they didn't know anything about this. So crack of dawn, I got up and did a Skype link where we got the guys to come in. It was Sunday night in the UK when the Fat Duck is closed. So we brought them in 7:30, and they're all wondering what on earth's going on. Into the Duck, there's music playing, champagne, And then my face pops up on a TV screen. I was thinking, because this is a really, it's a massive thing. If they don't buy into it, then it's not going to work. So I said to them, I had this little spiel about how amazing Melbourne is. The people are fantastic with enthusiasm, incredible ingredients. You've got beaches, you've got incredible wine area, a whole list of things. I said, okay, that was my my follow up after I delivered the statement that we're going to close for Christmas and we're moving to Australia. So I made that statement. I could see them on the screen, and there was this pause, and I was thinking, God, they're not reacting. But in fact, it was the time lag, and then simultaneously, like 50, 60 people just jumped up and screamed. So it was a big cheer.
Hey, I just realised something. I've been picking my way through this menu, Heston, and it just dawned on me. I get the lot, do I?
Yeah, you get the lot.
All right.
Yeah,
14
yeah.
courses.
All right.
That's
picking the eyes out.
No, that's why we basically have 45 chefs to produce that food for 40. In Bray, we do 42 people.
Hang on. So if you're going where Breezes currently is,
Yeah.
well, presumably that kitchen's not sufficient for what you need. Are you going to have to construct a whole new kitchen?
Oh, not a whole new building. We're basically constructing a whole new building where Breezes is.
Right.
Total brand new building. And then that the kitchen will be amazing. Kitchen, because when the Fat Duck closes here 6 months later, so the plan is open February, close August, go back to the UK, and we leave behind Dinner by Heston Blumenthal, which is the restaurant in London which has 2 Michelin stars, which is all the historical British stuff. Now, that's 120 seats. So when the Duck goes, we leave behind that restaurant. But once we've built Dinner, we're then going to build a Fat Duck inside Dinner. So it'll be a bit like one of those, is it babushka dolls? You know, little wooden ladies that you put
the Russian dolls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So they're all coming over here. You're going to stay. You know, when you get do the Michelin people let you know when they're coming?
They do once a year.
Right.
Once a year. They don't let you know when they're coming. Once a year, they will announce themselves after dinner or lunch and say, give you their card and ask if there's any changes.
Does it worry you at all that Gordon Ramsay came out here some time ago and opened a restaurant in Melbourne and it failed?
I don't know what happened there. I don't know why it didn't work. I don't know any of the details. All I do know is that over the last few years, while I've been coming over here, it has coincided with this incredible explosion in all things food, that people are Australians. The foodie Australians are incredibly adventurous and open-minded and want to try new things, because Australia doesn't have this historical regionalistic food culture that somewhere like Italy does. And after we made the announcement, within a couple of hours of that, I think Crown got something like 3,000 phone calls, and we've not even opened the reservations lines, and we won't be doing that for a few months yet.
Well, that's Michelle's posing the question that everyone wants to pose. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning. My husband shared the news that Heston's restaurant was coming to Melbourne, and I said to him, right, get on there and make a reservation. So I know he's listening to this.
Yeah, good morning, Michelle.
Morning. I want to know how I can come along.
Michelle, thank you.
Well, we will open and we'll make an announcement, but for the reservation lines, which will be in a few months' time. So February, for the Fat Duck in the UK, we take bookings 3 months before. So, for example, the 1st of September, you can make a reservation for the 1st of December.
We've just put in a couple of local
food's arrived.
A couple of local delicacies for you. That is avocado on toast, which your friend Matt Preston, with whom you were playing table tennis into the wee small hours this morning, he says is one of the 10 iconic Australian dishes, and the other is Vegemite on toast. Is there any prospect of avocado or Vegemite making their way onto any menu anytime soon?
Let me just have a bite of this avocado on toast. It looks like avocado and Vegemite on toast.
Yes,
it
is.
Oh,
it is.
Yes,
yeah. But naturally complementing each other.
It's a symmetry.
Yes, at least in the view of Matt Preston.
It's like a seamless coming together.
Right. Of what? Uranium and
my teeth.
Effluent.
Now,
I think we've poisoned him. I think there's been one very, very limited venture.
As much as I love Melbourne, Australia, produce ingredients, and I do like Vegemite, but I have to say I'm sorry, but I'm a Marmite man.
Oh, there you go.
Although Vegemite, Marmite, one of the very first chocolate bars ever produced was by, it was basically Rowntree's.
Yeah.
And Quaker family, 1800s, I know this because we've just made a program on chocolate. And they made this bar called Ox Chocolate. And it was basically chocolate with meat extract.
Good Lord.
So if you get the balance right,
It can be done.
and I think anyone listening to this should try it, and please don't send me hate mail or death threats if it goes wrong. But if you get the balance right, there's a little bit of this with some bitter chocolate. Well, bitter but not too chocolate.
I don't know, Vegemite and
Work really
chocolate.
well, yeah.
Righto, we're working on it. Heston, thank you so much for coming in early in the morning.
Oh, thank
and we
you.
will see you in February at Crown from next year for 6 months, and then leaving a presence with the dinner.
Yes, can't wait. I'm back in May as well, actually, next month. You can't keep me away.
More table tennis. Good on you, Heston.
Thank you.